joining us live on the bulletin is Group Captain Augustine Vinod, who's an aviation expert. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Of course, we're learning of this tragic news coming in from Nepal. Reportedly, 18 people have been killed in this crash. What do you think could be behind such a massive crash? Were there any such safety lapses that could have led to it, or do you suspect any other reasons?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm also a trained accident investigator and currently an accident investigator with the TCC. So with that as a background, with enough and more flying hours in my pocket, and as we are looking at the video, what comes to my mind, prima facie, though we are not resorting to any kind of speculation, but a video or an image speaks 1,000 words. So as you can see, the aeroplane as it departs is the time she rolls over. So technically, there are two reasons for this. First and the foremost is when you have an engine failure after the decision point. Now, what is a decision point? In technical parlance, we call it the V1. So there is a speed at which you do not try to stop the aeroplane, even if there is an engine failure. I repeat, at beyond a certain speed on the ground when we were rolling, we don't try to stop the aeroplane, even if there is an engine failure, because the runway length is not enough for you to stop that aeroplane. So you continue to take off with single engine. That is the technical parlance of V1. So beyond V1, when you have an engine failure, it is very critical. And especially if a critical engine fails, and that could be one of the reasons where it had an engine failure, or it may have been a crosswind that is blowing across this tabletop runway. As you can see, Kathmandu the runway is called the tabletop runway, like Kannur and Mangalore and stuff like that. So this tabletop runway is the problem in many countries, including in India. As you're aware, we had a crash in Mangalore as well. So to me, could the crosswind be one of the issue? Because the way, as you can see it, the way clouds are moving, there could have been a crosswind that was blowing and reduced thrust that caused it to roll over, and crosswind assisting it to roll over, and it impacted the ground. And third, which normally does not happen in any airline, I am sure Paris Airline is as professional as any other airline in the world, is when you overload. And remember, hilly country like Nepal, the runway is at much higher elevation. So there is a limitation of number of passengers you can carry, number of load the amount of load you can carry. You are restricted by the elevation, or because the Kathmandu runway is way above the mean sea level, you have restrictions. So if you overload an aeroplane, then also this can happen. Could it be a combination of all three? Yes, it is possible. Is there a fourth reason? No, there is no fourth reason. So as the accident investigation progresses and comes up, maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the road, when we get the final report, we will exactly know what happened. But the fact still remains, Nepal has not had a very good safety record. Jan of last year, I was in same our channel public talking about that Yeti crash in which one of the Indian was doing live, Facebook Live, if you remember. That was again attributed to pilot error, where instead of flaps, he withdrew the propeller and it crashed. Before that, there was a crash that was in Pokhara. In July of last year, there was a crash of the same airline. Couple of helicopter crashes that I can remember in 2 years, where again we have come and discussed on our very channel. So PIA, the Pakistan Airlines on final approach crashed on an Airbus or a Boeing, I don't remember, but everybody perished in because it was a procedural error, not from the part of the airline, but on the part of the chart that was made by the Kathmandu aviation authorities. After that, the chart has been, of course, changed. But the fact still remains. See, hilly country like Nepal, a lot of its earnings come from tourism. Therefore, and hilly countries and people who want to enjoy tourism, they don't travel by road, they travel by air. So therefore, there is a push to, and in a good weather time like this, or a fairly good weather as I can see in a time like this, there is a push to, maximize operations so that your revenue becomes better. So those things are absolutely understandable, but those things cannot be at the cost of safety record. Remember, if your country's safety record goes down like this, the way it is going down, the rabbit hole in last couple of years, then people will think twice coming to your country. So the aviation department or aviation ministry of Nepal needs to get its act together. And us being close by, I mean, India being a close neighbor and a brother, I'm sure they can seek India's help to bring this safety record of theirs up by probably getting in our expert opinion on their panel, so that such things don't happen. Eventually, number of people who have died are because of no fault of theirs. So these are few things that they need to get their acts together and get it up.
Yes, Group Captain, stay with us. That's exactly the point I was coming to. For the viewers also who are tuning in, if you can once again give us a better understanding of the facts known so far, do you think that there could be a probable technical glitch or some serious security lapses, given that such an incident or such a kind of incident even happened way back in 2018?
See, in 2018 also on our very channel, I came and covered this issue. And as well as 23, Jan 23, I think it was 23rd Jan if I'm not wrong. When the Airlines crashed, I was in fact with Arnab discussing this. For an investigator like me, a video is invaluable information that is available. There are many crashes where people have put the reason together based on only video evidence, because the black box charred in the crash, and in this crash too, I don't know whether the black box really survived. So how much of information can be gleaned out of this black box if it survived is a question that remains to be seen. Of course, I can see the tail is survived, so that was the black box may have survived. But the fact is, the way the aeroplane has gone down indicates us two things. One, its inability to climb, which means there was an issue of thrust, which could be A, thrust loss, or B, you have overloaded the aeroplane. Because of the Nepal runway being at high altitude, there is always a penalty of number of passengers you can carry and amount of load you can carry. So all airlines want to maximize that, but only up to a point where the performance of the aeroplane allows you to maximize that. So if you push it, then you will have an aerodynamic stall, which is what to me it appears. It is an aerodynamic stall, because aeroplane, if it cannot climb up in a particular angle, the first thing that happens is the wing drops and pilot can do nothing much about it. And as you can see on the screen, the aeroplane wing is dropped. The pilot correctly lowers his nose, as in he is trying to gain the speed by lowering the nose and trying to get wings level, as you can see very clearly. And if he had a few more meters, he probably would have got out of this situation also. So, another 5, 10, 20 meters of height if he had, he could have got out of the situation. So you can very clearly see the wing is dropped because of an aerodynamic stall. Pilot's action was absolutely spot on. He just lowered the nose to pick up the speed, and he managed to get the wings level, but he didn't have enough thrust to get out of that situation, and the aeroplane has crashed. So that's what I said. So overload is one issue. Second could be a thrust loss. Third could be a partial thrust loss beyond the critical speed, as I was explaining to viewers previously. The critical speed, in technical parlance, we call it V1. If I have to explain it in layman's terms, on the runway, there is a certain speed at which, even if you have an engine failure, you don't try to stop the aeroplane because the runway is not enough to stop the aeroplane.
Right.
So there is a software which calculates all this and tells you that इस स्पीड के आगे आप नहीं जा सकते.
Right.
इस स्पीड के आगे आपका इंजन फेल हुआ तो you have to get out. So
Right.
that combination of all three is what has led to this, is my prima facie understanding, and till date, with God's grace, I have not gone wrong.